Good afternoon. Welcome to the Community Relations, Recreation, and Activities Advisory Board meeting. Meeting is being called to order on Monday, May 13th at 6:44 p.m. Roll call. E. Stanley,
Present.
Chairman Dennis,
Here. Present.
M. Cherry,
Present.
C. Banks, C. Roberts. Invocation will be done by Deacon Eugene Stanley. Please stand.
Right, Father, here, please. Lord God, we here once again give you the honor. We respect, Lord. Thanking you, Lord, for keeping us. Lord God, keep our minds, Lord God, in the right direction. So we can help guide and see. Lord God, forgive us our sins. Forgive us our sins, knowing and unknowing sin, Lord God. Thank you for being God by Himself. Lord God, lead us right now. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have our Park and Recreation Director's report, please?
Good evening. On 2 weeks ago, our flag football teams had their championship on not this weekend, just past the following weekend before. And our 10U flag team won the championship and won a ring as well on that day, as well as the 12U flag football team. They won a trophy and a ring. On last Thursday, the Seniors on the Move had their Mother's Day luncheon at Siegel Park. We also have Commissioner Rose Titus. She's having her Mr. and Mrs. Senior Florida Contest search and pageant. So the deadline for that application, if you want to be a part of it, is May 20th, 2024. Also, we're preparing for our summer program. It's with the manager. Once the approval will go out before the end of the week is over. Also, we have registration for football and cheer, which started on last week, Monday, and conditioning will start on May 20th. I gave also the survey that was given to us by Mirrorleg, and what we are trying to do is get the input from the residents to give us some kind of idea on what they want to see exactly in our parks. We had someone from the Opa-locka old school came during the workshop that the mayor, not the mayor, but the city manager had on April 24th, and they gave some suggestions. The vice chair, she has to get the information back so that we can make sure y'all are abreast of what their concerns are and the things that they want to see as well in the park system. The Seniors on the Move, we will be going to Niagara Falls on September the 14th to the 22nd. That's a 9-day trip. We have 2 buses actually going to this trip in September. So there is some additional seats. So if you want to be a part of it, you could get with Miss Diana Durkin, which is the senior coordinator. And she could give you more information and details in regards to that trip. They also have already started preparing for the trip for next year. The seniors will be going to New Orleans. That'll be a 7-day, 6-night trip. So they are prepared for that right now to be able to, if any seniors or anyone from the community that's in that senior age can be a part of the trip for next year as well. Back to the survey. I did give out that survey, but it was a draft in the beginning about a couple of months ago. And we cover all the bases of the east side as well as over by Miss Banks' house as well. A few was given out on the west side, but we didn't get that many to actually come out when we had the workshop, because that's when we first passed out the package in regards to what we wanted to see, the community wanted to see as far as Ingram Park, Siegel Park, and Shabandi Park. So we're still in the planning of trying to get some kind of idea on what you all want to see as far as the parks and recreation. We're preparing also for this weekend, as everybody know, that this weekend we're celebrating the city's 98th birthday. So we're having community bingo on Friday. They're having a family fun day the early part of the day. And at 6 p.m. we have karaoke that night from 6 to 11. And on Sunday, we're going to have the gospel singers from different churches to come out and sing at Shabandi Park. That concludes my report.
We'll now move to item F, the old business. Co-chair Roberts, you wanted to explain this, please?
Good afternoon. The meeting was called today based upon some suggestions about the park department pertaining Ingram Park. I will say that based upon the committee, we're looking more for recommendations on how to organize the, what is it? Rain just went. Programming on Ingram Park. What happens, the city of Opa-locka Park and Recreation Department did hire a young lady to do the programming for the park system. We're more so looking for suggestions on how we can improve the parks department from the outlook on the outside. We know how the inside work, the parks department, the activities and different things like that, but we need a different outlook and a different take on what we can do to improve the parks and recreation. We had a lady by Miss Dorothy Morrison to file some complaints about what she really, it was suggestions really, not really complaints, but suggestions on what she wanted to improve. But out of the 24 items that she did give to me in my hand, it was only maybe 6 of them that wasn't in motion already. But based upon the seniors on the move coming to the park every day, and everybody knows that the seniors on the move goes to Shabandi Park from anywhere from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. That's when the city of Opa-locka seniors on the Siegel Park, Monday through Fridays. She also complained about them doing the demolition on the park. We don't have any control over that. You know, I made a phone call to Miss Morrison. She didn't answer the phone, but I was gonna address it. Full-time staff being at Ingram Park. Everybody knows that if you go to Ingram Park, they have a supervisor, and 2 additional employees at Ingram Park. So some of the things that she really actually touched wasn't a situation where they really have to fix anything. It was just concerns that she didn't know. I don't know where she was getting the information from, and I really didn't ask. But I did return the call back, but she never answered. But we need to do more program, helping find structural programs for all of the complete parks department. Not just one park, all the parks. They have a summer youth program coming. They have what's y'all supervisor? Shabana? Maureen Durden have came up with different ideas to improve the parks department. She's done cooking, she's done what is jelly beans. She have done different things, but we're trying to do a creation of bigger ideas. Not just the old fishing at Ingram Park and Shabani Park always having football is gonna go on. The baseball programs, we can't really address the baseball program because all the baseball leagues are no longer on the north end. They have baseball, but it's down south. And the other program that they have is Miami Beach, but Miami Beach only does baseball on Sundays. And they only have Little League and minor league and Little League. The other issues is trying to bring water aerobics. Like I said, that they've been having water aerobics at Shabani Park already. It's been advertised. They have people to come. So it's not something behind the car. It's not that. She was more so touching things that, use the senior citizen building at Ingram Park. Okay, the seniors are no longer there, so we don't have control over it. They're located at Siegel Park. Okay, you have to speak to whoever necessary that you have to speak to, but it wouldn't come across the actual parks department. Why they were moved, I don't know. I mean, you don't need to ask about it because you're not going to get a direct answer about it. Far as the track and field, it's ongoing track and field. Basketball just ended. Flag football just ended. Everybody knows from June to August, the actual football season officially starts in the city of Opa-locka. They're trying to bring in athletic weightlifting program for people to go to the gym, work out, which they have improved by 25 bodies. We do know that on a consistent basis, they have at least 25 people in the gym. So those are things are emotional already, but she don't see that because she didn't ask about it. But I brought it to the board so nobody won't say, well, Chris made all the decisions on it and different things like that. I didn't think it was fair, so I just brought it to the board. The overall outlook of it, programming is a big issue. In 2024, kids are not outside anymore. When it came with iPads, cell phones, Ataris, PlayStation, Xboxes, people start limited at their children from the ability to think. So we keep them in the house and they play the activities in the house so they're not outside activities. On Miss Banks' side, on the east side, they did give out flyers for the community. But how do you get the community involved when you won't have the parents to bring the kids? So my suggestion to the Parks and Recreation Department and the staffing for them to do transportation from the east side to this side. Not every day, but make a actual schedule where they can bring the kids from one side to the other side. Because we have parents that just let the children walk the street. If they're not walking the street, they're actually home behind the computer system, different things like that. So the outside sports are very limited. They have soccer over there at England Park. She said there's no sports over there. That's not true, but you have to understand the parks department and what you're dealing with in the new millennium. And they're back in the 40 years ago, what England Park used to be. It will not be like that. That won't happen. Another issue, they're crying about baseball at Ingram Park. I don't see where there's a recommendation for Ingram Park. And this is my opinion, not anybody's opinion, but my opinion. I don't think it should be baseball. And the reason why I don't think it should be baseball is because in the 2024-23 parks, you don't see anybody building baseball fields. All of them are stadiums. Soccer I ran out of them. Football I ran up. They're actual stadiums. All of the parks. You got one or two parks you might see baseball, but it's very limited in Dade County. And that's because Dade County on the north end it's not a priority on the north end. So those are the things that she was complaining about. I'm gonna say to y'all, as I spoke to the commission on Wednesday, if we have $1.7 million for Ingram Park, they need to start a demolition on Ingram Park. When you say something and you do no work, talk without work, doesn't mean anything in the world. When people see things, then they know you're serious. But if you don't never show the progress of anything, they're gonna keep complaining about it. Another situation that overall the whole entire parks department is you can bring anybody in. And I could tell y'all the different things because we're partnered with parks for the last 12 years. And everything that have improved with parks, we teamed up not for the betterment of us, but for the parks department. But when you have leverage, you don't have leverage to make a change. You only limited to what your limitations could be. And that is the difference with the parks department. That was the reason why the meeting was called. You know, it's not a long drawn out meeting. It was just basically she had some concerns about it. Like I said, most of them were really limited. Oh, we need to improve the playground. Okay, we've been fighting for the playgrounds for what? Over a year. I mean, that was something. And then the exercise equipment on the trail of Ingram Park, that is in the plan for making a correction. When the plan starts, everybody know we don't have control over it. But those are the concerns that she had for Ingram Park.
So the concern she had was just for Ingram Park, right?
It was just for Ingram Park. She didn't have any concern for anything else because the new city hall is supposed to be completed. I don't know when, but they say it's supposed to be completed. Shabandi Park really don't have a focused plan for just Shabandi Park. They have a plan, but not a master plan for Shabandi Park. Like I said, the biggest feature on the park will be the playgrounds. We need the playgrounds done. We need to clean up of the park, the basketball courts and different things that makes the coloring. Even if you can't fix the basketball court, put some paint on it. Something to make the park look better. The lighting system, they corrected the lighting system, so it's not dark on the park. It's not, well, that was a concern. Thank you that they did do a lighting system on the park. But it's like certain little things that they're addressing, but don't happen overnight. But Shabandi Park wasn't a big focus for her. It was more so Ingram Park. Getting weight equipment, exercise equipment out there, getting the seniors back on the park, different things like that. But when she handed to me, you know, you're only limited to comments. You can give the information to whom necessary that needs the information, but those were the things that she was concerned about. Me, they're expanding everything now, the backwards way. If we had Ingram Park done one way and we had a building for the seniors should be in there. That was my opinion too, or whatever the situation is. You know, we had Jap to come and say something about baseball in the city of Miami. The superintendent, Dakari Griffin, reached out to Liberty City, and the young lady said that the issue with baseball, they don't have it on the north end. They play baseball at Charles Hatley Park, but most of their activities are down south. So if we chose to pick up baseball, they would have to go down south. Then you have another issue based upon transportation. That's the same thing with the different things. We should come to agreement, and this is just my opinion about that also. We need a bigger bus for the kids. They're buying a bus for the seniors, but we need a bigger transportation for the kids. We have the seniors bus and it hold 25 people. 24 people, and then we have 2 vans. But when you're transporting 200 and something kids, we need better transportation for that. And that is another recommendation that we spoke about. And to make different things, it's not to target anybody. It's just little things that if we don't fix them, we're going to run in trouble with the Parks and Recreation Department. You know, we have adequate amount of staff. In fact, the hiring have been a plus because we're getting them in on a regular basis now. One time we wasn't. So you can improve anything, but you got to have the outlet to improve. And if you don't show anything, you don't get anything. But those are the concerns. We need the Park and Recreation Department, a recommendation. We need a bus for transportation, not just the vans that we have. They're good, but you're going to wear the vans out if you don't get a bus. When you maxing out your vans to transfer to your kids and different things, we're going to wear the bus out. Ingram Park, like I said, everything I said about the park, Ingram Park, that was stuff that Miss Morrison said, gave me some paperwork on. And it's more so just to make a couple of corrections to it, make some suggestions, make some requests. When the next commission meeting, then the report will state that these are the things that we're looking for. Yeah, they have a right to do whatever they want to, but once you put it in black and white, these are the things that we put forth that needs to be fixed. And that's it. I mean, get rid of the trailer. Personally, the trailer should be on. I don't think the trailer should be there. It was $50,000 a waste. I don't think the trailer should be there. That $50,000, that $100 and some $1,000 they waste to open it back up. You don't open it up just to say you open it. You don't patch it up because you can. What you do is you get your plan together and make your corrections on the part. And that is a big issue with how they're running the part, how it's done on that particular part. Yeah, it's a community park. I don't know if y'all know, Ingram Park is not zoned for a park. It's not zoned for a park. All these years that the park been there, it's not zoned for a park. So the funding for Ingram Park is limited because they have to make the corrections to make the park a two-way entrance. It's only a one-way in and one-way out. So that's a dilemma too. But that was my concerns. Those are the things that was brought to me. I'm just bringing it to the board because I don't want nobody to say, oh, it's a one-man show. That's not how I operate. So that y'all be fully aware that everything is going on. If y'all have some suggestions, anything that y'all can improve, the programming, work with the young lady, what her name is? Jalea. They brought Jalea in and she's doing programming. Well, she was registered for Park and Recreation, but she's willing to do the program. She came from Miami Gardens to come in and help program here. Now, how it panned out, I don't have no control of that either. But some suggestions will be needed. She's open to it. They came in with the mindset to make some things move. They're trying to bring in a drama program. And what was the other one? It's two, drama and something. They said Tuesday. Okay, Miss Swift is doing the fishing program, and Jalea is doing drama. They're bringing in drama to the park. The gentleman that came with the soccer information, it's a private company, but he was willing to give it to the children of the city of Opa-locka without a cost. So he's doing soccer without a cost at Ingram Park. Right? So those are the things that they were brought to me or whatever. In Opa-locka, it's not too many things that I'm not aware of because they bring them to me and it has nothing to do about it being just the city of Opa-locka. It just happens to be that way. Miss Banks, I know you've been in the park, you was in the park system for a long time or whatever. And I know you have some suggestions.
I really have no suggestions because of, I think as a board member, it doesn't make a difference whether we make a recommendation or not. In the past, we have made recommendations with no notification from anyone, city manager, assistant city manager, commission board, doesn't matter. We're going through the motion. Most of the information that you've given, that Mrs. Morrison is concerned about, I'm thankful that we were able to get this information from you and that you brought it to the board.
Mhm.
And I'm thankful for our director of Parks and Recreation. I'm sure that being a prior employee of the Parks and Recreation, I know she's doing the best that she can. You know, I think that the city manager and our commission and our finance department, we're not talking about something that's just happening to the city of Opa-locka. So what do? Do we go another 5, 6, 10 more years? In that time, our director will be ready for retirement. We'll have a whole new set of people. And if this board makes recommendation to make our Parks and Recreation better, and no one even thinks enough to even respond to us on it, then what's the purpose in the board? What rights do we have being a board member to even make a recommendation? I mean, I'm just bringing out factors that involve our decisions and our recommendations on these items.
Chair, respond to Ms. Banks.
Recognize.
Ms. Banks, you really know me by now. Personally, if it's not done, as long as it's in black and white, I'm good with it. Because one thing I do know, that you could beat a horse and you keep beating a horse, two things gonna happen. He's going to break down or it's gonna move. I believe, and this is just me, I brought it because it's so limited on the things that happen in this city here. The business of the city, when you run the business of the city, concerns are very much important. It should be. Let me rephrase that. It should be. When you have people volunteering their time to help you improve something, most people would take it and say, you know what? This is for the betterment of your city. When you take on a job, you go to that job, whether you like that job or not, you do your best for that job. For some reason in this city, we get in a situation where everybody is in a corner and nobody can move. That's a bad thing. That's not good. That's not positive. Because when you make a decision, it's a decision. When we have the meeting, I brought it to y'all in respect to everybody. It's not about me, whether this board run or not. We could give all the recommendations, whether it go or not. That's the look of this community. The people here have to change the outlook. We have 18,000 residents in the city of Opa-locka. People still talk about everything that go on. They had a workshop. When I spoke to the community in which I grew up in, the East Side, over there by Ingram Park, I was there for 40 years. You know what first thing they said is, Chris, why didn't you run? But I didn't run because I don't let things change my life. I don't do that. I don't do anything to change my life. And Opa-locka have a way of changing your life, and it's not for the better. And that's a bad thing. That's not good. When you run, you want change, you want things firm, you want people to do the right thing or whatever it is. You can't do that. I'm not doing that. I walked out. I mean, everybody, hey, why don't you do it? Let me tell y'all the things that's going on. I don't throw rocks and hat my hand. I'm not that person for that. If I said it, I said it. If I didn't do it, I didn't do it. But as a whole, you have to put it on record. People chose not to move on it. Those are the things that election is coming. Okay, hey, we've did this. We have a booklet. This is the stuff that we're promoted during this time. And guess what? These people are not moving on it. This is the people that y'all are voting in the city of Opa-locka. That's what you have to do. Everybody in here received documents for the meeting. Everybody. You take your booklet, and you flip the pages. On this day, I tried to improve park. On this day, I asked for a bus for the children. On this day, this is what happened. They knocked it down, or nobody didn't move on it. It is what it is.
Chair, please, may I intervene, please?
Chair recognizes Ms. Banks.
Co-chair,
Yes.
this is, in this city, and you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. As a former employee for the city of Opa-locka, Parks and Recreation Department, Police Department, Human Resource Department, and the City Manager's Department, I can say that the issues that we're talking about today are the same issues that have been here for the years that I've been here. They have not changed. When I took this position on this board, I came in with an understanding that this board, which I clerked this board as a member of the Parks and Recreation employment, I took it to make a difference. My recommendations was, and they are on record, and those recommendations have gone, throw it out there. They didn't make a difference too, and I'm going to say what I got to say because everyone knows who I am. I'm straight up. The commission, nor our city managers, which to me, they got more than enough city managers to get involved in this thing. We are now approaching summer camp, where even if we had kids that wanted to go, even if you wanted to just go over and just sit there as a parent while your children did something, what are they going to do? Just run around the park? Come on. I'm talking about our children. They are the future of us. When we're dead and we're gone, these kids are going to be the ones going to be sitting in our places. So it takes me off because I too, I look at this thing and it says public notice. And I appreciate our clerk because it takes a lot of work to do this. And then do your own job, your other jobs that you got 99 other jobs too, okay? I want to bring that out, yes, because I too had to do it. You had 99 other jobs, and then you had to clerk a board at 6 until, when I did it, until 11 and 12 o'clock sometimes at night, okay? As if you didn't have a family. So it would behoove our commissioners and our city manager to take a good look into whatever information we do and recommendation of today. It should not go on bare ears. It took time away. Mrs. Morrison took time to give you this information. You took time to bring it before the board. We all have listened to all this information. And we'll sit here and go through the motion and the commission will say, ho-hum, chalk it up. The city manager, our finance department, and our commissioners should have actually have a budget to go forward with these things. You don't just go through the motion. I'm not putting anything out that isn't out. You have audits. We have to respond on our audits and let the state know so they can continue to give us money to take care of the things that we need to do in our community. You can't expect the people in the community, whether they're Hispanic, Black, Asian, I don't care what nationality, to get involved when they do say it and nothing takes place. Or if you get people in that don't do anything to help us. Again, you're right. We put them there. If it was up to me, I'd get them out. Because if they're not going to take care of our community and our people, the future children that are here, and I say that because I too have grandchildren. I have grandchildren that I want to be a part of my community. When I'm dead and I'm gone, I want to know that they can at least do something in their community to help others in my community. But this game playing thing, and I'm putting it out there because I too, to the board, I requested some information as a public records request for the board so that I could begin to make some better decisions for us. Can't even get it. So I don't want to hear about the commissioners and this city manager that we got, okay? I want this to go out there. I do, and I know it's going out there. But truth is truth. So if I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give you all of this and I'm going to put it on notice, and you're right, you have to put it on notice. Put it on notice anyway, declare yourself. That's what they're doing. They clear themselves by saying, but nothing's being done. As you said, a whole year we've been fighting to just get a swing on the playground. One swing. so that we can have, at least have Siegel Park up, where if parents or a kid wants to go, not all parents allow their children to just sit at home and look in front of the TV or social media and all of this. Some of them do get out and let them walk, and some of us are oriented to getting out into the community. We can't assume that one nationality is the same for all nationalities, because it's not. Our Hispanic sisters and brothers here in this community are very much different than we are as Black Americans. There's a difference. As commissioners, I expect the commissioners that I vote to put in, okay? I'm not gonna go there on any of them, okay? Because I don't waste my time. I do my homework. I want to know what you're doing for my community. And if you're not doing anything for my community, you're not getting my vote. But I can't speak for the community. But here we are again. I've been retired out from the city for 3 years, and the director of the Parks and Recreation Department knows this to be true. We're still fighting about the same things that we've been fighting for years that I've been here. So why is Ms. Banks going to sit here and make a recommendation on something that isn't going to be done for the next 25 more years? What is the purpose of the board? And I say this because I want the Commission of Ethics to know this. I want the state of Tallahassee to know it. What's the purpose of the board? I'm being real. I'm a realist. When it comes to the finances of the department, when I worked Parks and Recreation, I worked 99 jobs. Why? Because I care about my community. I live in this community. I've been here 53 years. I've been in this community. I know this community. I know the people that sit on this dais right here, okay? I'm not happy with it. I wish more of the community would feel the same way I feel about it. If that were to happen, then this would be full, and this board right here with our chairman and our co-chair, things will begin to move because the commissioner would have to do something if they stop profiling. You know, everything is not about money, prestige, and power. It's about our children that we're talking about for the future. Parks and Recreation represents them. All the program and everything that you brought before me, I think they are very good ideas. I really do. But myself, I would love to see them be put into effect. I would love to see, I'm a fisher lady. I love fishing. I would love to get on the bus and say, hey, I'm going fishing with Miss Wynn. Hey, I got my stuff. Even as a senior citizen now, I'm a senior citizen now. I believe in fighting for the future generation. See them right there? You don't know what they're going to be. We don't. But we have to assist them and help them to be better people in the community. And they're watching us. They're watching them that sit up here on this dais and the things that they do. I'm here. I'm a part of the board until you guys throw me off. Y'all can throw me off anytime y'all get ready.
Me too.
That's the way I feel about it. But the statements that I make has nothing to do with the board, chairman, co-chair, has nothing to do with the board. It has to be what I have to put out there for our commissioners and our city manager of this city. Because the game plan is time to stop. It's going to stop because there are a lot of factors I won't go into and undisclosed right now that's going to stop it. And we hope and pray that we will be able to have a board and a commission for the city of Opa-locka. Okay, that makes a statement. I hope they get it, because your resume is not going to look good when you have that on your resume. Okay, it's not. I didn't mean to go there, but I have to, because I'm the type of person that I'm straight up. I'm not happy with the commission. I'm not happy with the city managers. I'm not happy with the fact that I have to pay my tax dollars for them doing nothing. And that's what they're doing, nothing. They can't even get the audits into Tallahassee to our governor of Florida. I try not to do this. But they all know who I am and how I am about it. I take it very seriously. These little tiny people, I love them. I take it very seriously. I want to see every one of them make it in life because they grow up to be us. Okay.
Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I'm done, y'all. My voting is not going to change. It's not. I still stand for the recommendations that we recommended for Parks and Recreation. I thought they would have been done by now. I even went through the rigmarole of vice mayor standing here with us and the city manager playing games with information that we requested. Come on, you guys are here. You're here on the board. We went through this, okay? So what are we here for?
Chair.
Thank you, Chair and Co-Chair, for allowing me to speak. If I can be of any other help, you guys let me know, okay? If it's gonna make a difference.
Co-Chair Roberts recognized.
Miss Bates, I feel you, Miss Bates. The only thing that I brought to the board, the reason why I brought it to the board, I think the correction should be made. I mean, how we get it done, we have to get to that point to attempt to make the change. That's it. All of the rest of how they run this city and what they do or whatever it is, we're not in charge of making those decisions unless the people of the city of Opa-locka say we are tired. Me as a person or whatever it is, I have my personal opinion about it, but welcome to the real world. But we're gonna go along, we're gonna go the short way around it, not step on nobody's toes and argue and fuss with people because I don't do that well. But I'm just a believer. The meeting was called because we have concerns. If the community are asking for something to be fixed, it's just as important for me to bring it to y'all so that we can address them. How they fix them, we don't have no bearing on it. Let me say this. I didn't come and wasn't put on the Park and Recreation Board, so I could be friends with people. Even though Miss Ray is my sister, I wasn't put there for that. I was put there because the last 12 years, we have been out in the community to help the Parks and Recreation when the city of Opa-locka didn't have nothing. That was to help them reform the Park and Recreation Department. So it had nothing to do. We helped Devin and Joy. We helped Mr. Brown for 15 years. And that's another situation too. You know, when he was taking all the city of Opa-locka money, doing whatever he wanted to do with it, all of those things. At the end of the day, we still did it. It was about the children. It was about making the correction. It was about doing things that would bring hope for this community. That's what we did. It wasn't about me liking you, me disliking you, whatever. It had nothing to do with that. What we need to do is find a way that we could get to the commission meeting and we come as a team. Hey, we're spending our time to try to make the correction. Work with us to fix these things. Now, if they don't do it, all you could do is put it on record. These are the things that we're asking for. You know, if the community Ms. Morris reached out to me or whatever, I'm quite sure she gave it to somebody else. I'm quite sure she did. But because my heart is in the Parks Department and I've been in the Parks Department, my oldest son is 40 years old, I've always been that person to put things together in the Parks Department. If it was something going on in the Parks Department, and of course, I never worked for the Parks Department, but I've always volunteered. Anything my children was involved with, I've always been involved with. Anybody knows me, that's who I am. But as a team, you do things together. That's the reason why I brought it. Not so much as Ms. Banks, I know that it really aggravates you because you were there and you've seen the work, you've seen the different things that goes on. Hey, I don't make decisions. I don't make decisions. All I could do is bring it to y'all as a team, and that's it. Now we can make a decision on the next commission meeting when they go for the reports or the citizen forum. Hey, we're coming here. Y'all assigned us to the board. We're doing all these different things. Y'all not doing anything to help us improve the Parks and Recreation Department. Y'all not doing anything to give us a lead with this community. You know, we come as a team, not one person.
But Madam Chair, come on, they don't even adhere to the charter of the city. Charter information and what it states about the boards, about the recommendations of the boards. They don't even adhere to that. Listen, I'm going to speak the truth. Any of them that don't want to hear the truth, then they need to turn off YouTube and everybody else, okay? Because the truth is the truth. It hurts. It really does when you know you're doing it, okay? They don't even follow charter information for this city. They don't care whether you're a taxpayer, whether you're a resident, or whether you're one of these little tiny people that live in this community, okay? And it
Ms.
shows.
Chair?
I'm-
Okay,
I'm-
Chair, Ms.
Co-chair,
Chair to Ms. Banks.
I'm just saying.
We're gonna end this in a minute. Wait a minute. Let me
Can we
go-
recognize our park director, please? She has her hand up.
I'm sorry.
Let me bring y'all to some more information as far as the Parks and Recreation. I've been attending a couple of meetings with the South Florida Coalition Parks and Recreation organization, and with all the cities, not just Opa-locka, with all the cities, there is a major issue as far as their sports component or other entities of Parks and Rec. So what happened was a lot of the city, even Hialeah, we all started meeting with one another to try to create inner city programming within the city, not just in Opa-locka. You have Doral, you have Sunny Owls, you have Miramar, you have a little further up north, the different Everglades that they have in those different areas. And what they found themselves noticing, like I go back to even to one of the meetings, I said the same thing. I'm not one of those parents that allow my children to just focus on electronics. I make them participate in anything that I have on Parks and Rec here for the city of Opa-locka. And a lot of people that know me, I have a passion for Parks and Rec for the city of Opa-locka. And a lot of the children that I come in contact with and some of the parents, they say, why you don't let your kids go to other parks or other cities to participate in different events or activities? I can, but as the director of Parks and Recreation for the city of Opa-locka, that's not a good look. For me to have my children participate in another city in an activity that I introduce to the community or I promote within the city. So that was one of my passions, even when I was a rec leader. I have to make Opa-locka great again. My focus is to create new ideas, new activities. And I think with the team that I got right now and the new staff that I will be having within the next couple of weeks, I think we will be able to offer other programs and ideas of different things that we are looking to do as far as Parks and Rec within the city. Ms. Swift and Ms. Marine is my supervisors on the parks. And like the vice chair said that I do. I have 3 staff members at Ingram Park. I have the supervisor, I have a part-timer, and I have a full-timer there to cover the bases of Ingram Park on a regular basis. The Parks and Recreation Department is open 7 days a week. The pool is open every day and also on the weekend. So the community have the opportunity to kind of like come out and engage in some of the things that we do have on parks, and they're able to communicate with the staff as well with any ideas that they have as well. So I get in the community. I know a lot of people do know me growing up in Opa-locka. I done played every sport in Opa-locka. I became the person I am in sports from Opa-locka. So I know that we can teach our children to be great. But we also have to remember that it's not just about the sports component, it's also about academics. Because we don't want no child, Black, white, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, we don't want them to go out there and they have to speak and they don't know how to speak. And the people sit back and they say, oh, where that child was raised at, what they was taught. I promote academic with all my activities, especially sports. because we have a lot of talented young people in the community that's going to stand out and they're going to represent us to the fullest. My daughter came through the programs of the city. She made it to be a cheerleader for Miami Care City. She's also in the magnet program that she'll start in the fall when school starts. So that shows me that my staff is doing a good job of helping them understand what they need to understand as far as academic. And I promote that all the time. Yes, we do need some people from the board to come out, speak, kind of help us kind of get out of the community and touch bases on what we want them to see or what they want to see. Ingram Park, they talk to me a lot of times when I be over there. I get on the cart, I ride with the staff. They come out their backyards, they talk to me. And they tell me exactly what they want to see. And one of the things that they want to see at Ingram Park is a better looking park. Something that they could say, our park look good. They always say, why do we have to go to Hialeah to go to a park? And we got a park right here, a beautiful park right here. Ingram Park is beautiful. But again, to patch it up, it's a waste of money. We have to start from the ground and build it up the correct way. And until we do that, Ingram Park is not going to be the park that we want it to be. It's not going to be the park.
Chair, if I may. Just give me a minute.
Thanks, recognized by the chair.
Just one. To the director. If I can recall right, Ingram Park, I think co-chair mentioned it. It's not zoned to be a park. I have said this many a times before commission, city managers, and everybody else. Perhaps it would be good to look at that park as a revenue, that facility as a revenue facility for us in the community. Perhaps we can have some type of fishing or some type of programs that might be set up there at a cost to our residents. I mean, everything's going up. Taxes have gone up, even though we're not getting anything for it. You know, when my in-laws and my grandchildren and my cousins and my little nieces came down, we had to go to Bunch Park. We loaded them up and we went to Bunch Park because, you know, they couldn't get on the screen. They couldn't get on nothing. As a resident and a taxpayer, it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. But as commission say, this is what it is. So I guess that means shut your mouth and accept what we give you and what we do. The commissioners are commissioners to create legislation. If this board makes a recommendation and we do that and we do, and honestly, all of us do our homework. We look this stuff over. We make recommendations on it. We have submitted. We have requested information. When we argued about the park grounds, we requested information from the city manager's office that we could not get on this board. So how can the board make an objective recommendation on something when you can't even get anything from them? They first have to do what they're supposed to do. Let me say this. You and I both have grown up in this community. We know it with our eyes closed. And I'm not knocking those that don't live here, because it doesn't mean because you don't live here that you don't have something to contribute to this city. But when you grow up in it, you get to know it with your eyes closed. You get to know the every move, okay? I can recall, and I hope they don't get angry, but I'm a realist. I've been a money lady here a long time. I can recall Ingram Park getting 2 sets of grant money that came in to fix up Ingram Park. And in the 10 years I've been here, I've only saw it one time. Where did the money go? Again, I'm gonna say that. They get mad. I've had commissioners say, oh, Ms. Banks, don't say that. But here we are again, trying to decide what to do with that park. That facility, that's what I call it, because it's a beautiful place. It can be a beautiful revenue for us if we have the right people that have the right mind for business and economics. And our commissioners just need to look at it, decide on it, and do what they're supposed to do, pass legislation for us in this community, okay? It's not for them to look pretty, look nice, or anything else. Their job is to pass that legislation. And city manager's job is to make sure day-to-day operations are handled on a daily basis. He is responsible for it. He is, right now, their highest paid. We got a city manager and 2 assistants that you shouldn't even call them assistants. You should just say they city managers too, okay? Because the salaries are, my taxpaying dollars is way up there, but I'm getting nothing for it. I can't even say, come on, booby, let's go over here and sit at the park, okay, for a while. What am I gonna do? Look at the park? No, I go to Bunch Park. I'm making a statement and I'm putting it out there.
Ms. Banks,
So anyway, I'm not my point too, and I agree with you. I already knew it. I know it's not zoned. I've known it for years, working in parks and recreation. I knew it when I was in city manager's office because it came right across my desk. I said, what's this? So maybe if we do some recommendations, like you say, and pass it on to our city manager and our commissioners, maybe they would think it, maybe that might be a good, some of us might think it needs to be just torn down, but it's a beautiful location. It can be some beautiful revenue coming in for us in this community, which would help us because the more programming we get, actually, most of your grants come through. You still have to have a certain amount of kids in order to get that grant money, okay? So we bring people in and they come in and I can speak on this. Ms. Ray knows that I can speak on it. We bring people in and they come in to do this work for us and to offer their programming for us. And then they pull kids from way over on, I'm gonna say Diddy Rudy, okay, to come in so they can meet the quota to get the money. And then our kids in the city get left out. Some of them don't even know of some of the beautiful programs, like Ms. Ray just said. They don't know it. When I worked at city, we had an allocated fund that I made sure that our previous director did in the finance budget, that we made sure we set aside $1,000 to make sure that all the paperwork that we did, Ms. Ray can tell you, was like this and mailed out. But now we're in a technology world. Well, we need to get it out to them. But we also need to consider the age group on it, because a lot of our senior citizens, they don't do computer stuff. They don't even have a computer. Half of them don't even know how to use this. So I think the key is educating our people in the community, because like Ms. Ray say, I did get this. I got it. I saw it, I read it. Some of my community people, I should say in my neighborhood, even asked me about it. I had a couple of them on the end that have kids and they said, Ms. Bank, what do you think about this? I said, who did you vote for? Because that's going to tell you what's going to take place, okay? I don't mean to get in your personal business, but it's going to take the community to make the change. Because we're coming, this is an election year, and you know what they're all about? Come on. Yeah. They want to look good. But like I tell them, look at what they have signed off on for you in this community. If they haven't done anything for you, then you don't need to put them back in the office, okay? You need to get rid of them.
Chair, Ms.
Thank you, Chair and Co-Chair. I'm done, y'all. My vote isn't going to change. Okay? But I'm going to speak my piece about this. Okay? Because I don't have, it's a waste of time. But out of respect for this board and the board members that are here, I will comply. If I had any recommendations, I pretty much done gave them. All right. And they haven't responded, have they? I want to ask that question. Has anybody, chair and co-chair, have they responded to you all and you guys forgot to respond to us?
No.
Information that we
no.
requested, we still haven't got. I still haven't seen it. Not email, not Curtis, nothing, okay? We haven't got, it. There's the clerk. There's a clerk of the board right there. Her job is to make sure we get that information. I'm putting it out there on them. They can do whatever they want to do with it. I don't care, okay? I really don't. I really don't. So they need to respect the board. The board is here according to chart. We are here to make recommendations to our commission and our city manager. And if they don't like it, then they need to bring it up in the meeting and say, we don't care for what the board said, nor their recommendations, okay? You can put it lightly or you can put it however you want to put it. And then we all know where we stand. I'm sorry, Ms. Banks is like that, but that's the way I am, okay? I'm straight up.
Chair.
I thank you, Chair, and co-chair.
In
done.
response to Ms. Banks,
It's time to go.
Co-Chair Roberts recognized.
we're gonna go on faith and then see how God moves. That's how we're gonna run it from here on out. All we can do is present it. If they do nothing about it, okay, hey, they don't want change. I mean, you can see how things go, that people do whatever they want to. When you run the city, the business of the city the correct way, all of this stuff go away. And when things happen, you can't point fingers at people. What you do is you sit back and wait. One thing I do know about God lets you do everything that you want to do. And when he get tired of it, he step in and he show you. Unfortunately, it just have taken the city of Opa-locka a long period of time. That's it. That's why I said overall, or whatever it is, I'm a reader. I'm a book person. I'm gonna do my own research. This is why everything in the city of Opa-locka in this municipality can be picked. You could pick everything here. All you have to do is read it or whatever. It takes nothing to do it. And it's a bad thing because when you do business, business is business. I could like you or not, business is business. When I get away from it, that's the end of it. But sometimes your better judgment is always beneficial to you. When you create form is form. That's why I hate paper people. They hand you all the paper and they're gonna do all this stuff and it never get done. And I hate paper people. I'm a reality person. You know, Opa-locka have rules and regulations like every other place. And let me say this, and I'm gonna lead this with Ms. Banks. One thing I can tell you this though, if you violate a law, everybody have a boss. Anything that you do, everybody have a boss. The people of Opa-locka have to make their force of a change. I'm done, Chair, so we can get out of here.
Ms. Sherry, you have anything you want to add?
I did have a couple of questions in regards to like the recommendations, Madam Co-Chair Roberts. You said about the transportation needs that you were stating. Is it like in our budget or is it something that we could do like where we could charter a bus until we could actually get a bus for the children?
We actually charter bus, Chair. We actually charter bus for the activities. That's not the issue. But if the money that we spend in chartering a bus, we can get our own bus and we have drivers for it and we could pay our drivers, our own employees instead of outside vendors. That's the way I look at it. Why pay American Heritage School $800 to transport the kids today when I could get my own staff in here and make that same money? They might not get it the same day, but they could still get the same funding. It might not be that much, but you still can pay your in-house. I'm totally against pushing money out. I believe your people are your people. You know, and that's just me. I don't want the city of Opa-locka children to rent charter buses every year for the whole entire season. 3 years ago, we went all the way to Rockledge. We was a traveling team. We paid for these buses to go. Why do we have to do that when we get our own transportation? For years, we had our own bus. It went down in the dumps, but we had our own bus. So why not take and invest in your future? with your children and get your own bus. That's just it.
Chair. Chair, I'm sorry. Chair, may I have the floor for one moment, please?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you.
Just one moment, please.
Ms. Banks recognized through the chair.
I was looking at something and I remembered this, and I do recall a conversation that as a part of the Seniors on the Move program, and I am a member of the Seniors on the Move program. Okay? I was validated by the director of the department upon leaving the city as a Senior on the Move applicant. I complied with everything that they said you were supposed to do. I want to put that on record. I'm not a flyby person, okay? I can recall a conversation that I have here that I recorded with the city manager indicating that he, at the meeting with Seniors on the Move, was going to purchase a bus for the Seniors on the Move program, okay?
Miss Banks.
I'm just saying, money that, again, I'm gonna talk about this money. Everything that you're saying is exactly what we should be doing, because we do. Why are we gonna spend extra money? Get our own. You know, if you get that grant money, and I don't want to go there, if you get that grant money and you say you need 18 seniors in order to get such and such amount of money, and if we get that money, we got to have 18 seniors in that program to get that funding. You take that funding and you should be utilizing it in a proper manner, because come audit time, we have to get these audits up to the governor's office to make sure that everything is intact. So it would behoove us to get our own buses to do this. Each one of them should have our own. Our kids for the programs, even, I don't know how Ms. Ray is doing it. Coming up, you got summer camp coming up. Kids need to be picked up. That's another thing in our community, which you have on here, which is a part of the recommendation. And I've heard a lot of them in the community say it. A lot of our parents are working, especially now. They're trying to hold on to everything they possibly can now, okay? With the way the economy is. It would be nice to have the bus to pick them up. Ms. Ray does have, and I've seen it. They're great buses. We need I'm coming in agreement with you. We need to have our own buses to do this, to pick up our own kids. Funding is there. You know, if you got two assistants sitting there on that thing, one of them can be trying to obtain some money with Mrs. Ray to make sure that her job can be done for our community. I'm just saying, because there's grant money. Well, with everything that's going on right now, everything is tight and in limbo. But there's grant money to be funded to do these programs. We need to search for it. We need to get it in and we need to put it into effect. I know she needs a good team for Parks and Recreation. I don't know how she's doing it. I really don't.
Ms. Banks, the reason why I said something, Chair,
Let me,
for Ms. Ray to address the situation with the Seniors on the Move bus.
Ms. Ray recognized through the chair.
Right here. Right here.
Okay,
The tape. Here it is. Y'all want me
with
to
the,
play it?
with the bus, we have one bus driver right now. I will be interviewing for an additional bus driver
I rest my.
because a new bus will be here supposed to be the end of July. So there will be two buses, but the children will be able to, we will be able to utilize those buses when we have activities as well. But the requirement for the buses, when you get past 15 passengers, you have to get commercial license. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And they have to be trained. And with the city, if they get any additional drivers outside of the ones that have CDLs, that means we will have to send them through a course to be able to get the CDLs. The only ones that actually have CDLs in the Parks and Recreation Department is actually Miss Terry Harton, Miss Prudence Rutherford, and myself. We the only three that has actual CDLs in the department.
Which means it pulls from your department to have your workers that are
Right.
working to actually be drivers for the city.
So The only driver, like I said, we have is Miss Terry Harton. And once we complete the interviews, we will have an additional driver as well. And we also will have another senior coordinator, and they will be bilingual so that we could be able to relate to the seniors that doesn't speak English. We'll be able to reach out to them as well so they can understand what's going on as far as this senior program as well as the Parks and Recreation Department. So there will be another bus. I really want a school bus. And the reason I want the school bus is more seating for the children. And it's not really a big wear and tear on the two vans that we have. Because when you're traveling, and it need to be diesel. Because when you're traveling from thus far, and we go as far as Fort Myers, Fort Pierce, and all those different locations to where we do travel. So it's a lot when you just using the vans and one bus. And then, like she said, I do rent 2 school buses from American Heritage to transport for our sports component. And they get paid a good piece of change as far as going from here from 6 o'clock in the morning to 2, and that bus come back, and then you have another one leaving out like about 10 and coming back like about 8 at night.
Madam
So
Director.
it is a lot.
Is that funded, all of that is actually budgeted money for you in the
Yes,
department?
in the budget, yes.
So it would behoove us to actually save money by actually getting our own.
Yes.
That's a recommendation. See, we're doing recommendations, okay?
Now, the reason why I brought the recommendations for the school bus, I don't know if everybody knows, and this is gonna be the last for me, about it. The seniors just received, approval for a bus for $189,000. Why would you do it for the seniors when you have 200 and something kids that we can accommodate? That's the reason why it's such an issue with me. Cause guess what? The seniors only come when they're eating some free food or they're getting something free anyway.
Well, but from a financial state, that money may be allocated just for the seniors on the move program.
But it
Based
could-
on a quantity, and I'm sure the director would know this, based on the quantity of seniors that you have involved in the program, there's a lot of factors that come with a grant. You know, money that's given to us, okay?
And you're absolutely
And
right.
I hope they
With
can account for it.
With 225 kids,
I agree with you
we
now.
can get a
I
nice
agree,
grant for a nice
if we
bus ticket.
can, but I'm just saying, some grants have stipulations on
Oh,
them.
I know that.
And
I know
we may
something
not,
about
but I would love to see some of that money go towards getting an extra. I agree with that. I mean, again, if we can get our commissioners and our city managers, you know, finance to come in under one accord and do it. If we can do it, if that's possible, then a recommendation would be, hey, do it, because we need it. It would be good for us. I'm sure the director would love to have that in her department. I know it. It would make life much easier for her. I've been there, done that, okay?
Yeah, of course. The
Yeah.
transportation.
If they can. Again, there may be stipulations to receiving that money. Okay.
Audits.
Yeah.
Audits.
Everybody knows, it's no secret. Audits haven't been submitted yet. We're still waiting on audits. They still, governor's office is saying, hey, what are y'all guys doing with the money?
Audits.
We still can't say.
We're gonna, okay, next.
It's-
I'm not hiding it. I'm on this board and I'm not hiding it, okay? No.
Ms. Cherry recognized through the chair.
This question is for Park Director, Ms. Ray. Now, you stated if it's over 15 passengers, we need a commercial license. Would it be in our interest to have those people go get a license? They have a free program where you could get a free CDL license at Miami Lakes. They just got a grant. Several men and women are in that program. Can't we send some of our residents there to get the license so that we can transport?
I didn't know about the program itself.
Do we have a grant writer? That's another thing. Do we have grant writers for the city of Opa-locka doing grants for us? Do we have
Yes, I
that?
think they do have a grant writer now.
Well, there's our answer. All we need to do is make a recommendation for the grant writer to go and look into this and hey, it's free.
Is it free?
Chair just said it's free. So we need to do that. That way we don't have to pull from the director's staff to do driving for the programs that we have. Because then you got employees, these jobs that are missing, okay? They can't do everything. Come on.
Okay, well.
I'm just making a recommendation.
well,
Y'all
Miss-
asked me to
Miss-
do recommendations.
Miss
As y'all
Banks.
talking, I'm making recommendations,
Miss,
okay?
Miss
My
Banks.
recommendation is that we
Ms. Cherry.
put it, we
Yes.
have it recorded to the clerk.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that's for the,
Go ahead, Ms. Banks.
that we put it down there and we have it recorded. It's free. If it's free, then we can have them to make this, all she has to do,
oh, she.
our director, is decide on who she wants to have CDL licenses done, okay?
Well,
And
my,
I know that's been a problem in the past, even when I was there.
but my comment, not to cut Miss Sherry off, that it was a requirement when you became a park and recreation leader. Their old director that was here for 15 years pulled that out of the requirements because of whatever situation, it was there for years. When they became, it was in there when y'all was in it.
Yeah, it was in it when I started here, but Starex was the one that changed that when it came to the CDLs,
Well,
but it was a requirement
And I
for
wanna mention
everybody.
as a part of the finance at that
Right.
time, under that tenure, it was due to lack of funding.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And it was switched over that they had to actually get it on their own, which came out of their pockets. You know, there's something you ain't gonna hide. Ms. Banks ain't gonna hide, okay? They actually had to pay for it out of their pockets, okay? Which wasn't refunded to them by the city either.
Right.
And you weren't hired to have it at that time, but it was the policies and procedures for the city that they were hired in that they had to have CDL license. I say that because our director actually drove during a tenure that I was, okay? As a driver with CDL licenses. At one point, we didn't have any that didn't have it except her as a supervisor of the Parks and Recreation Department. But the city didn't have any funding to actually even pay for any of them to go and get it. Come on, give me a break, okay?
Ms. Cherry still recognized through the chair.
That was just my recommendation. They have the programs out there and you charter from American Heritage. There's no business in Opa-locka we could charter from to have busing.
I think with all the other schools, like even with Miami-Dade County school buses, you have to put in advance and get approval from the top, actually, when you start dealing with those buses. But as far as the Spanish ones down here, they already be booked prior to the time that we actually do our activities.
We don't have
Thank
solid
you.
schedules, that's why. The scheduling is a big issue. Let's clean it up a little bit.
Thanks for that clarification.
So let us, I'm sorry, has everybody got it off their chest now?
Yes.
Co-chair, Ms. Banks, Ms. Cherry,
Yes, Chair.
Ms. Ray, you asked to be recognized?
Would it be, it would be nice that everybody complete their survey, whether you agree with it or not, for, so it could be turned in, submitted, since we're a board, that, we have information on our opinion on what the, Ingram Park should look like. I'm
So-
not her spokesman, but she was asking me, did I do the survey? And I'm saying it to y'all. She asked me, did I do it?
So
And,
we'll complete the survey, before we actually leave the chambers. Let me say this as the chair, Ms. Banks, co-chair Robert. You've been spot on. Ms. Cherry asked some nice questions that need to get answered. But let me say this, and I think I speak for us as a board when I say this. We've been aboard a little over a year. We started off with a lot of momentum, but in the middle of the politics and the game plan, people started jumping off the ship when the questions got too hard, or when nobody wouldn't go along with what they wanted them to go along with. Public information request has been submitted, and it's soon to be a year that I have not got anything. We talked about a $17 million budget that was supposed to have been found during the 22-23 fiscal year. And that money was said that it couldn't be touched. Now we're in the 23-24 fiscal year, and nothing has been said. $1.7 million improvement for Ingram Park. Yet we have nothing but an iron gate and a closed gate with nothing going on the park. And I take my hat off to you, Ms. Ray. I'm pretty much like Ms. Banks and to your entire staff. How y'all do what y'all do with what's going on is beyond me. And we as a board, and I'm going to say this to this board so y'all understand why we get pushback. Because you got people that sit up on this board, ask questions, know what they know, and nobody don't want to deal with that. And that's what it is. So now, people don't got it in pocket with individuals. That's just my opinion. People have gotten in pocket with people. They politic to get those people that were in here just last month talking about the park plan, which we know who all did the work. I won't go there. But when we're looking at what this board is supposed to do and what we have been talking about doing, and we have not gotten one thing. The commission makes up the CRA. So for a whole year, as Ms. Banks stated, I didn't say it, but I've mentioned it, we have not gotten one stone put on the playground that would then put a swing in place just to hold it in place so somebody could push and swing. So the game plan is what it is. We know people are jockeying for position because elections are coming up, and we know deals being cut all over the place. And we're looking at, again, no results. No results. But everything that this board came up with last year, that would have been put in place by now through all the parks, through every park in the city, everything would have been done. Nothing but game plan. But every time there's a bingo, or every time somebody say, let's throw a party, everybody shows up. Now, I want y'all to hear me when I say this, because we're not just a park and recreation board. We're the community relation, park and recreations, and activity board. Now, let's look at the Back Blues. For some Little Caesars, some juice and a Pepsi, now them people about to be throwed out, getting the Section 8 voucher and don't know where they're going to land. Now you competing with the Homeless Trust, with people from Lotus House and Chapman and the Salvation Army and Citrus and all these other places trying to get housing. So now, when the voucher runs out, after a certain time, they only give you so long and so many times to extend that Section 8 voucher, then where do you find your family? Where do you find your family? You went back there to get all them people to come in here in the Back Blues to help you become the city manager, and all they got was a slice of pizza, a Coke and some juice, and now look what don't happen. Now HUD pulling away from the table. Because it wasn't everybody back there that was down with that. And all them buildings back there didn't have to be tagged. But this board next to the commission board is one of the most powerful boards in the city. And nobody understood that because they never paid attention to what it said in the charter and what this board represented. So we got 3-4 people running the city, because we saw how that vote went. And look at the mess that's being made. Call it what it is. Call a spade what it is. It's a mess being made. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. It's too many cooks in the kitchen, and look at the mess that has been made. Now, they spent a lot of money getting people pizza, juice, and a Pepsi, but didn't think to put a swing on the park. Now, what you think was more important? Securing your position as the city manager, which I'm quite sure it was, that was more important to him because that's what spoiled children and selfish children do. They think of themselves. Or thinking about building a park system where kids could swing and play and you can stand on your own merit and nobody can't say you didn't do your job. That's the difference with that. Not doing favors for people. Not holding something over somebody's head. That's the problem that's going on in this city, and that's the problem that we're having. That's why this board can't get nothing done. I heard what Commissioner Williams said with her slick mouth. I heard what she said during the CRA meeting, and then when I walked in, she walked out. But as my mama always said, every dog has his day. Because that's the principle of a school with a track team, that the track team can't even practice at the school because the track tore up. They got to practice at Mopar. They got to practice at Miami-Dade. So what that does is show me as your tenure as the commissioner, your tenure as the vice mayor, and your tenure as the mayor, and how you perform in playing games. Nobody got time to be playing games when kids' lives are at stake. All of my boot campers that I have dealt with from Miami-Dade County Jail has come from the east side of the city of Opa-locka, the side where the parks have been closed down. The very same side that we are talking about the park fixing, and then we got people up here playing games with people's lives because they straight. Work in the school system, and hear the school system talk about prison to pipeline, but yet won't do anything to stop it. They adding to it because of the game plan of what they do when they sit up here as the community, and they sit up here as the CRA, and they sit up here as the commissioner and play games with the person on the fourth floor that's called the city manager. That's what they do. That's what they do. And I don't care if you come to a meeting and try to check me, because you can't check me. That's what's wrong, and why we can't get nothing done as a board, because we're sitting up here knowing what we know, doing what we're doing, and we got the people that make the decisions standing up in the way, blocking everything because it's not their idea. And that's all it is. It's not their idea. Because as long as the manager thought he had a friend, he was at this meeting. He was here. He was making sure his office was here. But as soon as he found out he ain't have a friend, he took his ball and went home so nobody can't play. I'll take my hat off to y'all as a staff. And people put your jobs on the line and don't know, and they know they putting your jobs on the line because of the game plans that they playing with, and then sit up here and act like it's your fault. No, it's your fault because you the leader of the city. You leading the city, but then you're going to point the finger at somebody else. It is a shame before God in heaven for what the commission is allowing to take place and won't step up and do what needs to be done. They just like rats following the Pied Piper to the ocean. They just like rats. But for those that sit up on that dais and sit up on the pulpit at church, think you better go and read Nehemiah 6 and go to verse 10. Because even Nehemiah knew when he was dealing with a secret agent, a secret informant, a snitch, somebody that wasn't no good for the mission, but yet it's still, the wall still got to be built. As a board, we have to continue to work. So let me say this as we get ready to close. Recommendations were made. And Ms. Banks made recommendations. Ms. Swift, I'm going to ask you if you could pull those recommendations out when you have time and during the minutes and add them onto the agenda so we could come to the next meeting next month, as soon as we set a date and have that stuff voted on and passed on to the commission. For everything that Ms. Morrison was complaining about, Ms. Roberts, I want to thank you for your work, your time and your effort in making the necessary phone calls to get questions, to get our questions answered. But there's also one other thing I want to cover. Transportation for the children is just as important as transportation for the seniors. The most vulnerable population in the city of Opa-locka is the children and the seniors. And what is happening is we're pitting one against the other when both of them are in need. So at the time I make a motion that we close this meeting, can I get a second?
Second.
Motion second, third, and move. The Community Relations Board's meeting is now adjourned until our next scheduled meeting next month.